Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode here on Warriors Amongst Men. I'm sorry it's been a while. I've been going through a lot of chaotic energy and I've just been trying to navigate it, to be honest. So really today, since I've known a lot about my magic, in being a human being for such a long time, and what I'm capable of with my energy, I've really took my power back in the last 10 years, but it's been getting increasingly stronger as the more previous events have taken place, because the events that have taken place in my life, and I'm sure for you guys as well, is really all about overcoming the obstacles that have been thrown at humanity, right? We all know what they are. And in doing so, you're seeing a whole new world take place, right? We're post-Novid right now. And it's 2025, coming to the end in October. And me and my friend Errol, who we have a podcast together called Natural Intelligence, we're some of the only people talking about this kind of thing that are left doing these things. So I can only imagine now that they would be keeping an eye on us. And from learning about studying witchcraft and things like that, I know that my best defense is to expose the energy that threatens me, because it shows that I'm not scared and it relieves my fears. And listen, the attacks of the enemy is all about programming. It's energetic programming, right? But it's not so, hippy dippy. It's just listen to the words people are saying in your environment, because remember, people have had that weird thing in their arm now, and we don't really know. Everyone wants to say, oh, it's got this, that's what. You don't know what's in there. So don't give me that. Now, saying this, all I can tell you is what I observe from reality when I look around, okay? And I see people from a very psychological way sometimes. It's not something that I just do all the time. It's just an ability that I have, like a psychic gift. But, when I look at people, I can see sometimes the programs that are taking them over really quite quickly, actually. I'm sure you could probably do it too. And it's interesting how programs run in the subconscious mind. For example, I just try to flow with the natural intelligence. That's why our podcast is called Natural Intelligence. I trust my full ability to be here in this moment and for the information to flow through me. Whereas sometimes when there's energetic chaos going around and people are putting spells in your ear and stuff, it can cause us to start running on our programs. And the programs have usually been placed there by someone else. Your subconscious programming runs over 95% of your day, don't you know? Your day, that means your life as well. I'm just a black cat in the jungle, look. But where am I now? Because you're used to seeing me in Vietnam, right? I was in Vietnam. I was in Thailand for 6 months before that, in Phuket. Then I was in Vietnam for... How long was I there for? 3 months. And then we went to Langkawi in Malaysia. Langkawi was a strange place because I got called to go there, because when I went on and typed in Langkawi, just do it on Google Maps or something, Langkawi, Malaysia, the symbol of Langkawi is the eagle, and there's a massive eagle statue there. And I thought, why have I come here? Because, to be honest, I didn't really like it there. There was some beautiful parts of it. We went on my moped and drove right out deep into the forest and went to a waterfall, and that was obviously very beautiful, but everywhere seemed to be hacked with a very chaotic, strange energy. And I recognized something, because the eagle energy is such a powerful energy. It represents the higher forces, because look at what the eagles do. They see everything. And do you know what? When eagles show up, one of the visions and something that I've learned is that imagine an eagle soaring in the sky so high, and the eagle sometimes just has its wings out. It's not even flapping its wings sometimes. It's just floating there. And do you know what it's doing? It's floating to the floor, obviously. If it doesn't flap its wings, eventually it's going to hit the floor, right? It's just going to slowly get to the floor. It will do it wonderfully. You know, it's not just going to body slam like some wrestler, but it's going to float to the floor. And if you just stand up right now, if you want to actively engage with this, put your phone on the side, listen to my voice or whatever, but just float, just sit there like the eagle and stand up and put your arms out like the eagle. And just imagine you're the eagle floating in the air. And imagine you're floating to the ground. You know, and for example, in my life, I'm a Forex trader. So recently I was going through a little bit of drawdown in my account, so I didn't get paid for a while. And this was due to a lot of chaotic energy in my environment. I can feel the energy difference, you know. Obviously, they've put those military weapon towers up now. That could have something to do with it. All the attacks. I mean, I've come back to England. I've given it away now. I've come back here, and I haven't seen the sun for a whole week since I've been here. They're literally carpeting the skies, aren't they? And obviously, I can feel the difference in the countries. But let me get back to the Langkawi story, because when I was in Langkawi, something strange happened. This energy was so chaotic, and I saw it for what it was because it was amplified there. So imagine the bird is floating down. Imagine you're floating down. And as you float to the bottom, you're going to be like, you're falling. And this is what humanity's doing right now. They're falling. And you're either going to fall gracefully in the flow of natural intelligence and land safely at your destination, or you're going to plummet, mate. So remember to be the eagle and soar as you're floating down, and know, actually, if I trust my wings, you're off. And you can soar to the skies, and you can maintain that eagle vision, and your life can just flow into the new natural earth, which is the energy that's coming through now, and it's requiring us to flap our wings. And I tell ya. But listen, what happened in Langkawi, they actually placed the eagle, this massive statue of it, on an inverted star, which is obviously the satanic symbol. And so they've got it upside down on a star, like the satanic symbol, right? You know, just look it up. And there's also a lot of Muslims there, which I've not got anything against Muslims or any in particular religion, but you should look into your belief systems, because I understand that it's our belief systems that basically put like something in between us and the natural intelligence that flows through us. But the natural intelligence is always guiding you, you know. And so when I was in Langkawi, I was getting guided, and I kept seeing the eagle everywhere. There's loads of eagles there. But we went to this beach, and it was like, I think it was called like Skull Rock Beach or something, and basically there was a prison close by. You can see the island where the prison is, and people used to escape there, try to escape, and they would jump in the ocean and try and swim back, because you probably could swim it. You could definitely swim it, especially if it's for your life, you know what I mean? It would be hard. You'd have to get on your back sometimes and just float and kick your legs. But the point is, there's loads of sharks and crocodiles there, so no one really made it. And I'm sure there was a couple of warriors that made it, but there was loads of skulls that would turn up on this beach on Langkawi, the beach where I went to. And apparently a lot of ships sank there as well, and this was due to the water demon or something. This is literally what it said on a sign. You know when you go to like a touristy spot and there's like a little view next to a beach and there's like a sign that tells you about this area? That's where I'm getting this information from. There's also another beach there which I looked on Google Maps and it was the nicest beach on the island, and I thought, I'm going there. And we went there, and you know what happened when we got there? There was no one. There was like a gate, and it looked like there was a driveway down into like maybe a hotel area or a car park next to the beach or something. But what made it look like a hotel entrance is obviously there was a gate, and there was a little like guard bit, you know, where the guard sits at the gate next to it. And anyway, we were sitting there, and we were gonna, you know, just go through, I reckon, because it looked all abandoned as well. Then all of a sudden, this guy just popped up from this ditch, and he weren't even in the guard bit. He just popped up from a ditch, and then just came out and said, like, you know, he basically said that it's not open, it's closed. And I was like, oh no. First of all, he said it's private, and I said, well, can I book to come in? You know, can I come and book your hotel? And he said no. And I was like, why? He goes, it's closed. And I was like, well, why are you here then? Why are you here if the whole place is closed down? You're just here to guard the beach so we can't go in. So it's private, but it's closed. So it's like, what is this then? So that just weirded me out as well. There's obviously a lot of good things about this place as well, you know, because there's still the natural intelligence that comes through. But there's a lot of chaotic energy there, because there's a lot of prayers going on there. And look, I don't want to go into religion too much in this video, but there's a lot of prayers going on there. There's a very strong energy, and all week, right? Fucking hell. all week, right? What was we doing? Hang on, let me turn you around so you can see my view. All week, whilst I was trading, there was literally loads of dogs barking outside. As soon as I started trading at like 10 o'clock at night, all the dogs would start barking, and they would be literally fighting. You know when dogs start fighting? Like, and there was literally like 15 dogs, probably, maybe more, outside just barking and going mental. But then a little bit later on it would stop, and then literally at like 2 a.m. they'd start fighting and barking outside. Then 3 a.m. they'd start barking. 5 a.m. they'd start barking, like fully fighting though, like a fucking war. And it was full moon around this time as well. But yeah, I didn't get much sleep at all there, like every day. And I was just trying to navigate this energy, to be honest. Otherwise I would have made more videos. But like I say, now exposing this kind of thing, it's actually really good for just cleaning up any attacks that have been placed on me. But for example, I've literally noticed people come past me and they say specific things in my reality. Like, for example, this is how they hack people. Like, I'll be sitting there, and then someone came up to me and literally walked past, pretending they're on the phone, or maybe they were on the phone. But they said, literally, the only sentence I hear them said was, his parents made him break up with his girlfriend. And that's all I heard. They didn't say anything else. That's literally the sentence I heard, then they walked off. And I know this may make me sound crazy, but because I know how the subconscious mind works, I know that, like, you know, words are going into our subconscious mind. They're like affirmations, aren't they? Like your subconscious mind is always present. It's always here in this moment, 24/7. But your mind, you start wandering, you start thinking about other stuff. But your subconscious mind's always downloading programs from its environment. Always. A lot of people want to say, no, it's just the first hour when you wake up and the last hour. Yeah, that is true, because your brain goes into the theta brainwave state, but that doesn't mean you can do whatever you want for the rest of the day and it's not going to program your subconscious, because it's both of those things, right? It's the habits we do every day, and it's also, you know, the theta brainwave state, like you can program it that way as well, like listening to something as you fall asleep or when you wake up. But you feel me? So yeah, so now I'm back in England and I'm happy to be here, but it was a bit of a sabotage, like last minute. We were sort of promised something and then it was taken away from us, in a sense. So it's not to blame anyone in particular, of course, because I think everything happens for a reason. Like, I had to come back here because there's a few things I need to get. I need to renew my international driving license. I had to have these big epiphanies that I've had through coming back here, and there's many other reasons why I've come back here. Obviously I can make it part of my journey, you know what I mean? And it's always like that anyway. So even when the enemy does something and you think, no, actually, if you have the eagle vision and rise above it, rise higher and see your life for the fuller picture, that's when all your power comes back. So I hope that message has been good for you today. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, show us some love. If you want, I would really appreciate it if you really want to do a one-to-one session with me at the moment. It would really help me. I am doing well with my trading once again now, so it's not that I'm desperate, you know, but I enjoy doing these type of videos with you, because like I say, when we talk about these things, we raise our frequency onto that natural intelligence. You know, it's almost like the best meditation you can have when two pure souls connect. So yeah, if you want to get involved and speak to me, click in the link in the description box below. I would really appreciate it. You know what I'm doing, traveling the world, saving souls. As always, continue to be a warrior amongst men. Be a warrior and not a warrior. Don't block your own abundance. Don't block your own prosperity. Open up to it freely. Love people. Be the light you want to see in the world. Don't let the negativity consume you. Obviously, always just learn the lesson and grow beyond it. That's all you have to do, because that's what you're here for ultimately. You know, it's easy to get caught up in the distractions of the matrix, like making money and all these things, but ultimately the spiritual growth is literally why we're here. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. That's why I say warriors amongst men, because we're spirit amongst flesh. You know, get your mind right by needs over wants. Be the lion amongst the sheep, right? You know the story, you know how it goes. We ain't gonna start rapping out here. But yeah, I enjoyed this one. I hope you did too. See you in the next one. Let me know your thoughts. Peace.